Good morning from quarantine. You can see outside it's a little bit gloomy today. A little bit hazy, quite a bit cloudy. I don't think it's gonna rain or anything, but it doesn't matter anyway because I can't go outside.
摘下星星送给你，摘下月亮送给你，让它每天为你升起。变成蜡烛燃烧自己，只为照亮你。把我一切都献给你，只要你欢喜。你让我每个明天都变得有意义。生命随着爱你，永远不离不弃。你是我的。
Yesterday was such a crazy, confusing experience. So as you know, when we first came in, we filled out some paperwork at the train station, and we came back, I guess it said where we'd been and for how long, and anyway, we came back to the house and everything we thought was taken care of, until we decided to order those groceries. I know you saw that in the video. I went out to go get the groceries because the doorman refused to deliver them to the house, which I was already confused about because we were supposed to be in a 14-day self-quarantine. So I go out, and you saw me walking back. What you didn't see was that the guy was following me back to the apartment. So he comes back to the apartment with me, asks a bunch of questions, you know, which already was confusing, like, don't you guys already know this stuff? And then he left, and we thought, okay, well, I guess that's that. And then, a little bit later, because of that event, the apartment management people, they show up, and they ask us some more questions. And we answer all their questions, and we fill out some paperwork, and then we think, okay, that's done. Nope, not done. The next day, we think everything is fine. My wife is, you know, asleep, and I'm up, and all of a sudden there's knocking on the door. So I go to the door, and there is one of the apartment management people and about 4 police officers. And I'm thinking, okay, what's this time, you know? So she's finally, you know, I get my wife out, and the lady starts shouting about lying and all this stuff, and the police are saying, you know, like, you can get into trouble for, you know, giving false information or something like that. And I guess it comes down to a lot of confusion. Anyway, they're just saying, you know, you can be severely punished or whatever for giving false information, which we never did. We never intended for that to happen. I don't know what in the world was going on. This is what happens when people get confused and when nobody knows what's supposed to be happening. Anyway, we had to fill out the same paperwork again for the 3rd time, and we were told, of course, to stay in the house for the next 14 days, which we were already going to do, and we already thought we were supposed to do. I guess the difference is now there's a sign on the door to scare everybody away. On the bright side, I guess it's excellent security. Nobody's going to come into this house because there's a sign on the door that says, you know, that people in quarantine here. But yeah, we're stuck inside for the next 14 days, and all of this because, not the 14-day thing, but all of this mess with the police showing up and people coming over and over and over again. And now we don't even know, like they said that we're supposed to report our temperature. I don't have a thermometer. And we don't know if they're going to be showing up again every day to check our temperature or what's going to happen, because once again, there's just a lot of confusion. I would have thought that the response would have been better organized from the government, but I guess the further down the ladder you get, the less things are organized, or the worse they're being carried out. But yeah, that's the situation that we're facing today. More uncertainty, more confusion. Now on to other topics. I hear things are really blowing up over there in the United States. There's talk of second wave potentially coming here to China. And I've heard also a lot of reports about the end of globalization and what that would mean for the Chinese economy. It would probably actually be good for the U.S. economy because it would mean all the manufacturing comes back to the United States. You've probably seen a lot of products in the United States and the rest of the world that say they're made in China, whether they're American products or Chinese products. They're all made in China. I'm sure the same in in Britain and probably everywhere. That would be really bad for China because they make everybody's stuff. So even if it's an American product like an iPhone, it's still made in China. So if globalization did come to an end, it would mean a lot of unemployed people here and a lot of empty factories. So yeah, that would be a devastating blow to the Chinese economy. I don't know that there's really going to be an end to globalization, not completely anyway. Probably in certain sectors, based on some new laws that I guess have been signed by the President of the United States. But I really don't see an end to globalization. I think the cheap labor is just a little bit too tempting to these big companies. Unless there was some more laws or taxes put in place, I really don't see the end of it. Maybe there'll be less. They'll manufacture some of it in the United States and some of it in China or Vietnam or wherever, but I really don't see the end of globalization completely. So, this virus is really starting to take off, I guess, around the world. As I mentioned earlier, there's talk of a second wave coming to China at some point. And by the way, I'm just washing the rice. Something that you should do, by the way, if you make rice. You're supposed to rinse it until the water is clear, so you have to go through several rinsings. Just in case you didn't know that, I know that because I live in China. This second wave is a little bit worrying to me because I could see it happening, and China's talking about a lot of cases coming back into the country from abroad. That's a bit worrying, but of course, in your situation, you're probably not so concerned about that. It's more about what's happening where you're at, rightfully so. Like I said before, I hope that everybody got some supplies and everything that they need so you can stay inside. The best way to avoid getting sick is just being able to avoid other people. And that's the real reason for getting the supplies. Not because necessarily you're going to run out of stuff in the store, but more because, well, if you have what you need already, then you don't have to risk going outside. So I really hope, I've seen a lot of comments where people said they got supplies, so I hope everybody's ready for this. If you're not, it hasn't quite reached your area, just go out and get some canned stuff, get whatever you need, water. If you live in the United States or somewhere where water is clean from the tap, just get some containers and fill them up with water so you have it. Get what you need so you can avoid going outside as much as possible. Ah, there you see, the rice is perfectly ready to be cooked.